Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tracy in LA, the podcast. We're now on episode 31. I have a beautiful ray of sunshine on my ponytail. This is what happens when I try to put these shades up on the windows in my car. They don't cover the full window, and then I just get these random lines of light. But, no one's watching this. People are listening to it, so it's fine. It doesn't matter, and at least the light is not on my face. That's what bothers me the most and maybe bothers you. Can I show you my water bottle? Because it finally broke after like 6 years or something. Look, the handle is all broken. It's not like all broken. It just broke. It snapped when I grabbed it, and that has never happened before. I love Owala water bottles. Actually, someone at my old work when I had my corporate job gave this to me as a birthday present or something such a long time ago. Probably a year or two before I even quit that job. So it's like 5 or 6 years old. And it's been my trusty water bottle. You probably wondered, why does Tracy always have the same water bottle? Actually, you probably have never wondered that or cared. But I have always had this water bottle. It's probably not the color that I would have chosen for myself if I bought it for myself, but I really like gifts. I like when people give stuff that's thoughtful. And so I really appreciated that this girl gave me this gift, and I really like this water bottle. And I don't use the straws. For some reason, I don't like the straws in the Owala water bottles. I just, toss it back. And and I don't like to clean the straws. So I don't use that part. But I really like these water bottles, and I've been wanting to get a new one just because it is really old. And not to be gross or anything, but I do think there might be mold growing in it. Not like in the actual cup, but in like the little crease where you twist the top on. I was kind of like, is that mold? It's not like, it's just like this blackness. It's not like fuzzy mold or anything. And I wash it frequently, but I was like, I probably need a new water bottle, but, we're saving money right now. We're not saving money right now. We're not saving any money, actually, but we're just not spending money on unnecessary things. I'm like, this water bottle still works perfectly fine. I'm going to keep it as long as I can keep it. But I did have a water bottle, another one on standby on Amazon, because I did feel like I probably need a new one soon. And I guess what it takes for me to finally buy new things is when it like actually breaks. Like I finally bought a new purse when my strap broke and I literally couldn't carry it easily anymore. And same now with my water bottle, because I usually carry it by the handle, which I used to think was maybe not going to work. I was like, is it strong enough to carry by the handle? But I mean, to last like that for 6 years carrying by the handle, I do think it's strong enough. It's just that I was trying to twist the top off, and I kind of gripped the handle in order to do that, and that's when it popped off yesterday. So I ordered a new one. It was actually supposed to come this morning, which is so crazy. It probably did come, but I'm not at home right now. So anyway, maybe I'll have that by tomorrow. It's a black one, classy, but it has a little bit of teal or something in it, so it's not super boring. Red, or whatever this color is of my current water bottle, it's sort of like a pink red. Red was my favorite color for many years of my life. My old room when I was in high school, it was like mostly red, I think. Or maybe my mom made my room red when I went away to college because she knew I liked red. I don't know. For a long time, I was wearing red and everything I had was red and my room was red. And then I think I just got burnt out of that color, and now I just really am not a red person. And so I think this water bottle, although I have loved it and cherished it, I'm ready for a new color. And I tend to go with more neutral colors like black or gray or white, especially for things that I'm going to use like every day, because for some reason I want them to match even though it doesn't matter. But I also want to be able to find my water bottle easily. And so I was thinking about getting another bright color, because I like in class to be able to spot my water bottle easily and also don't want someone else to like grab it by accident. And it's interesting because like everybody has these water bottles now, but 5 or 6 years ago when my friend gave it to me, they were popular right during that time. But shortly after it, other water bottles got more popular and everybody got those. So nobody had the Owalas anymore. And then all of a sudden they're super popular again. And I'm like, I love when I just have old stuff and then it just becomes popular again. And then I feel like I'm trendy, even though I literally have not bought anything new in a long time. So I have enjoyed it. That's my water bottle story. And be looking forward to a new water bottle that you'll see me drink from on this podcast, if for those of you that actually watch it on YouTube. Anyway, I almost didn't do this podcast today. Well, I shouldn't say I almost didn't do it. I just am pushing myself to do it right now because I am like emotional today. My head hurts. I started getting a headache last night because I didn't eat enough food or eat when I was hungry, and the headache started. It's not as bad of a headache as it is when I eat sugar, but it's still there. It's a mild headache. I woke up with it still there. I went to dance class with it still there, and I'm just like, ugh. I hate headaches so much. So I kind of want to just close my eyes and do this whole podcast with my eyes closed because it kind of feels better. If I could just like take a nap while I'm doing the podcast, that would be a nice way to kill two birds with one stone. But here we are. I'm going to try to do it. I was actually supposed to do it yesterday, but what was crazy was I went to my dance class and then I had all this time during the day, free time before I had my other dance class at night. But I needed to stop by my old place where I used to live to pick up a jury summons that I received, which is funny because I never got mail to that house before. I always got it to my P.O. box, but I guess the jury people know your physical address, and so they sent it to my old place. And so I went there to pick it up, but I knew I'd probably chat with my old roommate as well, which I was excited about. And I was excited to see my old little dog, Maisie, the little white dog, if any of you remember from me posting about her all the time in my stories. I love that dog, and I really wanted to see her. And then she wasn't there because she's somewhere else right now, so hopefully I'll see her soon, the dog. But I did see my old roommate, and it was really nice to chat with her. But I thought, we'll probably chat for 30 minutes, maybe an hour if she has time. But yeah, we started talking. I was like, do you have time to chat? So we like sat down. I'm like, yeah, we're going to catch up. This is nice. I haven't hung out with her in a while. I've been moved out for a few months now or something. And so we started chatting, and it was such a good conversation. I was so uplifted by the conversation. We were both talking about different miracles God's doing in our lives and how encouraged we are by God. And even though things can be hard or tight with money, God keeps providing and all the cool things God's doing. And we were both just going back and forth, like story. This is all God's doing. And it was like so awesome. And I knew it was going longer than planned. Like, I'm like, I probably won't have time to shoot my podcast today. Because yesterday I was going to shoot my podcast in between my dance classes. I'm like, I probably won't have time to shoot my podcast. Probably won't have time to go to Target. But that's okay. Like, this is so awesome. I love chatting with her. I'll just like do it tomorrow. Meanwhile, I am getting hungry, but I had food in my car in a cooler. But I was like, whatever, like it's fine. I was so into the conversation. I'm like, I'll just like eat something once I leave. But then finally, we're kind of like wrapping up the conversation, which I thought was like an hour and a half. I thought I was there for like an hour and a half. And I literally go, I don't even have any idea what time it is because I didn't have my phone next to me the whole time we were talking. And she looks at her phone and she's like, it's like 6:50. And I'm like, 6:50? I have to be at my dance class at 7:00. I had no idea that I was actually risking being late to class. I just thought I wasn't going to have time for my podcast or my errands. I'm like, wow, that 3 hours felt like 20 minutes. Like, it felt so fast, which, meant we were really enjoying the conversation. But I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't eat. I didn't do anything I was supposed to do. And I'm going to be late to class. And it's funny because as we were talking, I had this thought of like, I wonder what time it is. And I just felt like God said, you're not going to be late to class. I felt like he said that in my head. And I was like, okay, like I didn't have to worry about it. And I could just keep talking, Even though I didn't really think I was going to be late, I'm like, I really still thought it was pretty early, but I did have like a slight thought of like, what if I was like late to class because I'm like literally not looking at the time. And I just felt like God said, you're not going to be late. Then when it was 6:50, I'm like, I am going to be late. Like sometimes that class starts late. So I was like, maybe I'll be okay, but I'm going to be 15, 20, 25 minutes late for sure to try to get to my car and like drive over there and park and everything. And I had to go to the bathroom. I also hadn't eaten. I'm like, okay, I'll eat while I drive. But this is crazy. How did I turn into like a rushing person? Like I had all this time. What happened? So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to leave. So I like raced out of there. And it was kind of funny because I did get to class late. But at this class, it's my free Christian Friday night class that there's 2 different organizations. They host it on every other Friday. Like one of them hosts it on first and third Fridays. The other one hosts it on second and fourth Fridays. If there's a 5th Friday, they don't do it. So it's either hip hop or contemporary. It's always like a Christian song. Sometimes they do a little prayer at the beginning or the end, but like anyone is invited. You don't have to be Christian, whatever, and it's free. It's really nice. I love the people that go there. I really like going to it. They always bring in different teachers. They're usually, I shouldn't say they're usually, they're always good teachers, like different styles. You know, obviously you connect more with certain teachers than others, but they always bring in good teachers, different ones every time. And so it's a really nice experience. But anyways, they often start late, and they usually do like a little get to know you icebreaker thing in the beginning or something. So fortunately, I looked in the window to make sure they were still in the room that they normally are in, because sometimes they go to a different room. And they were in there, so I went in and I saw that they were in a circle. I'm like, okay, they're still like in the chatting time, so at least I didn't miss any of the choreography or anything. But I was kind of sad because I liked that time, and I like to share and like hear everybody's stories and like do the icebreaker. Like I like that part because I get to know people during that. But it was funny because I pretty much missed everybody's, but then I got there just in time for them to invite me and another girl to share. Like, I guess we were sharing our feelings, like our true feelings. The teacher was like, you know how people will say to you, how are you doing? And you don't really say, you're just like, good, or you don't really say your feelings. Like, I felt like he said we were going around and saying like what we're actually feeling, like to be honest and like maybe share about it or something. And then he said, and then also something that you're grateful for today or something like that. I don't know. So anyways, I was so pumped up on adrenaline because I had just like rushed there, and I couldn't believe I even like made it on time, and my heart is like racing, and I love telling stories and talking about myself. So I don't know. It's funny. The other girl who was also late looked at me and was like, do you want to go first? And I felt like I didn't want to, but who am I kidding? I always love to talk and tell stories. So I was like, no, but I will. And then I just said that I was feeling really grateful, and I gave these miracle money stories that have happened in my life recently this week, which I'm going to share with you guys about. But then I also talked about how I was grateful that day because I had a really long conversation that was so encouraging with my old roommate, and that's why I was late. And I was like, I don't know how telling those couple things turned into this long thing, but of course that always happens with me. So I was just telling this like whole story, and I was so like animated talking about it and like this crazy miracle God did, and everybody was like, yeah, they were like so into it, and like I don't even know, I'm like, were they cheering? I don't even know what was happening, but I felt like people's facial expressions and like their reactions were like they were so into the story and like so encouraged and excited for me and about God and like all he's doing and how he provides. And then I talked about my roommate conversation, and they like thought it was funny that I thought only an hour and a half had gone by, but it was 3 hours. And I don't know, that was like invigorating, like racing to class, feeling like I was going to be late. Then I wasn't late, but I was sort of late. But then I got to talk about myself for a bunch of time, and everybody liked it. And then it was just funny. So why was I telling this? I have no idea. Anyway, that's why I didn't shoot the podcast yesterday. But then I did eat on the way to class, but I had started to already get a headache because I hadn't eaten, which happens to me sometimes because I think I'm like maybe a little bit hypoglycemic or something. Like sometimes I can skip food and I don't. It's not really a big deal, but sometimes I will get a little headache. So I had a little headache at class last night, but it wasn't terrible and it was fine. I was able to still like have a fun time in class. Then I had it still when I got home, and it's just like, I hate that feeling, and it's hard to go to sleep, but I was really tired. So I fell asleep. But then I woke up this morning, the headache was still there. I'm just like, I hate this. Went to class, like, you know, as I'm focusing on the choreography and like working really hard in class, the headache sometimes will go away a little bit. And so it did, or I sort of like forgot about it. But then it kind of came back after class, and I'm just like, I have to shoot this dang podcast. And it's so hot outside. My car says 86 right now, and that's with the air on. But it's so hot outside. I was already drenched in sweat from class, and my head hurts, and I'm hungry. And I didn't really bring food today because I got up late, and I'm also sort of not even really hungry though, because I don't know, I had a big breakfast and I'm also just like in a weird mood. And I was like, I don't even like want to find food right now. I'm just like, I need to shoot this dang podcast, but I'm sort of in a bad mood. I sort of cried a little bit earlier, which I don't even know why. I think it's just because my head's hurting and like I'm feeling emotional about things. And I was feeling emotional last night. So God's been doing all this crazy miracle money stuff in my life. And I've been like really praising him and like so happy and just like, wow, God is really my provider. It's so crazy. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like looking at my bank account and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. How am I going to live? I don't have any money coming in, and I have to pay for things, especially dance classes. I know that shouldn't be like the most important thing on someone's list, but like it is for me. And I just got really emotional about that and just like how I can't spend money on dance classes. Like I don't even have money. And so I was just struggling with that. But then I journaled with God this morning and reading the Bible. And I still feel like God is telling me to just go to any dance class I want to go to. And I'm just like, okay, like just to go and watch him provide afterwards. Cause I feel like he's calling me to this like extreme level of faith. I don't think that everyone should spend money when they don't have money. I don't think that's like a good thing in general to do. And I know a lot of people maybe have a problem with that, or like, you know, put too much money on a credit card and then can't pay it off and then they're paying interest and all these things. So as someone who's generally pretty good with money, I would never recommend for someone to do that. I don't even recommend for myself to do that, which is why I feel so weird about it. But because I've been so overly strict with budgets for so many years, you know, like 15 years now or something, I feel like God is just challenging me to really listen to him and what he's leading me to do instead of looking at my bank account and making decisions based on my bank account. But I've never not made decisions. Wait, am I saying this wrong? I've never not made decisions. I've never made decisions. I'm losing it. I've never made decisions not based on my bank account. I think I said it right. Okay. I am really tired as well. I had a really long day yesterday. I have a really long day today and tomorrow of just like living out of my car. I'm not actually living out of my car, but I feel like I'm living out of my car because I live sort of outside of LA now. And so when I have to drive to LA in the morning and I have things in LA at night, I will just be out of my car the whole day. So I'll pack a little cooler with food, or today I didn't because I was running behind. I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to pick up food with the money that I don't have, but I'm just believing that God's going to provide it and it's fine. And yeah, it just feels like a long day when you're like living out of your car all day. So I did that yesterday and I'm doing that again today. And then tomorrow I'm going to do it for like half of the day. And I'm just like, I mean, I love my car and it's fine. I just am like, I'm tired and I want to eat good food and I want to cook something good. And like, yeah, but I was at home most of the week until the weekend. So nothing to complain about. I think I'm just mostly upset that my head is hurting, but it's fine. Anyways, yeah, but that's the emotions I've been feeling about money. But I do want to tell you that God has done some crazy things recently. Like I did end up getting my windshield replaced. So I think last time on the podcast, I had told you guys I decided not to do that because the crack actually wasn't as big. It really just wasn't that big. And it was like I didn't want to replace the whole windshield and then have another crack happen or something, which is also what people were advising me, like maybe you don't need to get a new windshield. And I'm like, yeah, this is so crazy. I don't think I need to get one now. But then I made the mistake, or maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe it was a good thing to get me to finally do it. But I did go through a car wash, which I read on Google that you shouldn't do if you have a crack because like the varying temperatures and the beating of the whatever car wash stuff on your windshield. What are those called? The fabrics that hit your car. I don't know. The beating of that on your car, it's like not good for a crack. It can make it grow. I read that on Google, but someone else in my life, you know who you are, was like, it's fine. You can go through a car wash. Cracks are not that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, because I really wanted to go through the car wash because if you remember, that was the car wash that I waited a month to go to finally use the car wash that I paid for. So it was kind of felt like it was free at that point because I paid for it so long ago. But then it's like if I don't use it and it's expiring in a few days, then I really lost that dang money on that dang car wash that they didn't let me get when I first bought it because it was too late in the day. And I'm like, why can't you give me my money back? If you remember my car wash fiasco, because they wouldn't give me my money back, even though it was too late in the day for me to get a car wash. They're like, you just have to come back and get the car wash later. And I'm like, no, I can't because I'm house sitting. I'm going to be far away. So I'm not going to come back here and get a car wash. And then they were like, well, it expires in a month. Will you be back before the end of the month? And I was going to be just back before the end of the month. And I was like, okay, fine. But I was really annoyed about it. Anyways, and then I get this crack in my windshield. And it's like I'm Google telling me I can't go through a car wash. So I very easily believed the person that told me it was fine because I wanted to believe it was fine because I wanted to go to the car wash. I also didn't really have time to like look for a place where I could hand wash my car. And I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Why am I making such a big deal? I'm so dramatic about this little crack. And then I go in there, and literally as soon as I got home, the crack had already grown a ton right after I went through the car wash. I was like, ugh. And then the next day, it just like grew more just from like being in the sun. It just like grew like a flower because it was in the sun. Just give your crack give your crack a little water and sunshine, and it's just going to grow like a plant on your windshield. So it really grew. It was pretty much across my whole windshield, and it looked worse. It looked like thicker, and I was like, ugh. But some people just live with really big cracks on their windshield, even if it's across the whole thing, and they just live like that. And apparently, even if the whole windshield breaks into a million cracks, it's supposed to not actually go into your face or like cut your face up with glass, because there's these protective layers on either side of your windshield. But still, I was like, if this goes into a bunch of cracks when I'm driving, I'm not gonna be able to see. I'm gonna have to pull over. I'm gonna have to get someone to fix my windshield on the freeway, which is gonna be crazy. And I'm gonna have to pay for Safelite or someplace that's expensive that will come to my weird location. Or I'm gonna get a ticket, because technically you're not supposed to be driving with a crack in your windshield. And when it's that big, you could get a ticket for that. I don't know. So I don't need to be paying extra money for tickets right now for something I'm gonna have to pay for to fix anyways. So basically, I was like, I think the wisdom of the situation is I need to finally get this freaking crack fixed. And so, or get the windshield replaced, which is all I can do, because you can't get it fixed anymore at that point without getting the windshield replaced. So I had found a place that was cheaper than Safelite when I first got the little crack fixed by Safelite, but that place didn't respond as fast as Safelite, and I needed it fixed fast so I could do everything I needed to do in the day, because I didn't want to drive around with this little crack and have it grow. Which is like, why do we even fix a little crack if it can still grow anyway? So I don't know if I'm going to be doing that in the future. But anyway, there was another place that quoted me a cheaper price, and they have really good reviews online, but they got back to me too late for that little crack back whenever that was, some weeks ago. So I called that place or emailed that place again and was just like, okay, now I have to fix my whole windshield. So can you quote me for this? So they actually gave me a quote that was a little bit cheaper than the quote I got from the guy that was on the west side when I was house sitting on the west side. He was going to replace my whole windshield, and he'd given me a cheaper price than Safelite, and I liked him, but he's more on the west side, or he's not out near where I live, and I was at my actual house when I needed it replaced. So I went to this other company anyway, and they are in Camarillo, which I'd never really went to before. So I had to drive there to get them to replace it, and it's crazy because it was $535 total, and that included the recalibration of my cameras and stuff, which you're supposed to do if you get your windshield replaced. Technically, you don't have to unless the place makes you do it, but I don't think they make you at this place. But you don't have to, but then everything's kind of jacked up. Like, you know, if you have something in your car that tells you when you're like going out of the lane or you're too close to the car in front of you. I mean, I don't really rely on that stuff anyways, and I don't have a front camera for like parking or anything, but it also is linked to your cruise control and just like other safety features. And so I was like, you know what? I just don't want to be driving dangerously, and I don't have money for this either way. I don't really have money to replace the windshield or to do the camera recalibration. So it's a miracle either way. So I'm either asking God for a miracle for a few $100s, or I'm asking him for a miracle for $535. I don't know. Either way, I need a miracle. So I'm just going to do the whole thing. I really liked this girl that worked at this place. She was very helpful, very responsive. So I took my car there, and it's funny because I was in a bad mood about my windshield earlier, but I had prayed a lot about it, and God had kind of calmed my spirit to the point where I was able to go to this place in a good mood, kind of like I talked about how I was when I got my oil changed and my drive belt changed, and I felt like I was paying them $1 million, but I did it with a smile because I was like, it's fine. God's my provider. I'm not even stressed about this. But then quickly after that, when everything happened with my windshield, I was like, okay, now I'm stressed. I'm really trying not to get stressed about money, but it's really hard when things keep happening. And so I was feeling like that about my windshield, but God kind of calmed my heart about it. And so when I finally went to the place, I was actually in a good mood. I'm like, I don't have this money. I am putting it on my credit card, but God is good and I trust him and it's fine. And literally this place I had to drive it to didn't have anything around, like no coffee shop, nothing to wait at. They didn't have a lobby. They're like, we're going to get a lobby soon, but we don't have it right now. I mean, it was literally like this garage. It felt like I just pulled up to like a random garage in this alley. There's like a bunch of garages of like different businesses. And I was just like at this garage having this place work on my windshield, but there's like nowhere to go. It was kind of a hot day. I literally brought sunblock in my water bottle because I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to like just walk around or something. But God really helped me be in a good mood about it, to the point where I was like, I'm excited to walk around. I don't even care if there's nothing around here. I'm just gonna walk on the sidewalk wherever it takes me to. And so I had found some sort of cafe that was like 30-minute walk away. So I'm like, I don't need a cafe, but I guess I'll just walk there to be walking towards something to look forward to or something. So it was kind of funny because I'm like on this walk, and actually God is giving me so much joy on it. Like if you watched my Instagram stories, I was posting everything later because I was just loving all the flowers and all the trees, and God was just speaking to my heart, and I was actually enjoying this walk so much. And I finally got to the cafe that I had put the location in my phone, and it was like closed on Wednesdays. I'm like, that's such a random day to be closed on, but it was a Wednesday. And so I was like, guess I'm not going to this cafe. But then I just kept walking, but I was like, I don't care. I'm just like enjoying this day. It's so nice. And I was really feeling happy and joyful and trusting God about my life. And then I was passing this pool that was part of some association, like a condominium complex or something. And I heard all these little kids. I couldn't even really see the pool very clearly, but I like saw it in the distance, and I heard all these little kids like laughing and playing in this pool. And oh my gosh, all of a sudden I was just overcome with emotion, and I started crying, and I was like, what is going on? It was like it was kind of windy outside, and there were loud noises, and nobody was around. So I guess it was a pretty safe place to cry as I'm walking, because I felt like everything was really deserted besides this pool that I could hear. But I had this memory in my head of just like when I was little, the house that I grew up in before my parents got divorced. They got divorced when I was 8. And we would play, like me and my brother and my friends in the neighborhood, we would play at this pool that was kind of really close to our house. Like I think we could even walk there, but it was like a public pool. And I often went there with my friends, and there was a vending machine we'd always get snacks out of, and I think there was like this little counter, like this concession stand where you could get nachos and different things, and then you would just like swim in this pool. And it makes me so happy to think about that and how we used to go there. But then it like made me sad. And then I also had a memory from after my parents' divorce, when there was a condo that my mom and I lived in for a while, and they had a nice pool there, and we would hang out in that pool. And then I remember often going to like Dairy Queen afterwards and getting blizzards. And oh my gosh, even just thinking about a blizzard right now from Dairy Queen, I'm like, I would love to freaking chug down like an entire blizzard from Dairy Queen right now. Actually, that sounds so good. Maybe I'll do that. I would literally die. I would die. That dairy would kill me. It would kill me. And also I would have a migraine for like 2 weeks from that. So we won't actually be doing that. One day when I have my migraine medication again, and if I'm literally not going anywhere for like 3 days, maybe I'll have a Dairy Queen blizzard and just be like, I don't even care. I just want to have it so bad. But anyway, I had this vivid memory of that, and I started literally crying. Like tears were coming down my cheeks, and I'm like, what is going on? I was actually in a really good mood. I'm not even feeling sad. Like, what is happening? And it wasn't even like I was experiencing, like that memory was like a happy memory. So I don't know. It just like I just felt overcome with emotion. And so just like crying. And it was like right after that, the car place texted me that my windshield was done. And I was like, oh, I was like, how far away am I from them now? I still had like a 30-minute walk left to even get back to them. So I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be back for like 30 minutes. And she's like, that's okay. Take your time. And so I was like, okay, I have 30 minutes to get myself together. I don't want to pick up my car and have like my face all red. Like I was like crying, although maybe they would give me a discount. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, it was really good. It was kind of just nice to get that emotion out, even though I don't really know what it was about. But you know what? God knows what it was about. And maybe I'm just like missing when things were good. I mean, that's crazy. Things are good now. Like there's always good and bad things about every season of life. But I guess just thinking about like a simpler time, or it feels like it was a simpler time. It probably really wasn't actually, because of like the divorce and so much drama. But, but when you were at the pool, that felt simple, just being at the pool. And I really liked going to the pool, and I really liked those blizzards. Anyways, maybe one day I'll recreate a version of that for myself. Maybe I'll make my own blizzard with an ice cream maker. and do it with maple syrup and non-dairy milk. But anyways, and I'll call it Tracy's Blizzards. Maybe I'll start a company. Anyway, I do already have a company. I don't really have a company. I'm not making any money. Do we know this? Anyways, yeah. Oh, so I was having a great walk. It was very therapeutic, obviously. I was having joy. I was having sadness. I was just having all of the inside out characters in my head doing their job. And then I got back to pick up my car and I was full of joy. I just looked at my car and I was like, oh, looks like my car got a facelift. It looks so good. Look at my car. It's stunning. I love the new windshield. I just felt like I dazzled up my car just by getting a windshield that just looks normal. And I was like, my car looks amazing. I love it. That was so worth that money that I didn't even have. And yeah, I was in such a good mood asking the girl like different questions about the papers she gave me where they did like a check of different things on my car. I was like, oh, what does that little red thing mean? Because most of it's green, but there was like 2 things that were red. She's like, yeah, these were like weird at first when we ran the check or whatever, but then it cleared, and she's showing me how it cleared. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just asking questions about things because I'm just a curious person. And also, this is my car. This is my baby. So, you know, I have to ask a lot of questions. Actually, it's making a weird kind of creaking noise every time I turn my steering wheel. So I'm going to Google about that. I'm like, what is happening? That seems like something new. Anyway, so yeah, I paid her the money. Once again, I felt like I was paying $1 million that I don't have. And I was like, oh, well, here you go. Because I'm rich. Look at me with my Lululemon purse. Like, I have so much money. And actually, I don't have any money. And I paid that on my credit card. And I was just like, okay, I'm just trusting God. And then I had some errands to do after that. So I was driving around. I was just like, I guess I'll just do my errands in Camarillo. I've never really hung out here. So I like went to the Trader Joe's. I went to the Dollar Tree. I went to Wendy's. I love Wendy's, guys. I haven't been to Wendy's in a long time because Wendy's is not one of the food places that's really close to my house that I see every night when I'm driving home from dance class. And I just always have loved Wendy's chicken nuggets. It brings me back to high school when we would have like, I think there was like a day that they had Wendy's, and I always liked getting Wendy's because I love the chicken nuggets. But also I'm realizing I love the fries. It's been a while, and I mostly eat In-N-Out fries when I buy. I don't get a lot of fast food, but my normal fast food places are In-N-Out. And then Taco Bell recently, not a lot, but there is one on my way home. So I sometimes stop there if it's really late and I'm starving because I like to get their spicy potato soft taco. That is really good. And then like a chicken soft taco. Also, neither of these have cheese. I always say without cheese, but those are really good. And I'll get them once in a while, and I'll get In-N-Out once in a while. So I'm used to the In-N-Out fries, which I just don't really like. Supposedly they're all natural and freshly made and blah, blah, blah. But like, I just don't, they're often cold or I don't like them. I like the burger, but I don't always get the fries. Anyway, Wendy's fries, oh my gosh, they're like thick. They have the right amount of crispy, the right amount of like spice. They're really good. And I was craving Wendy's today, and I'm like, I'm going to get Wendy's today. But then there's like no Wendy's nearby. It's kind of harder to find Wendy's. They're not everywhere. It's like a 20-minute drive is usually the closest Wendy's, which is not that bad, but it's sometimes out of the way of where I'm actually going. And then it does feel like that's a long amount of time when it's out of the way. Because, like, why can't I find a Wendy's on the way to anywhere that I'm going? I feel like that is how much Wendy's should be around. Like, why is it not around everywhere as much as that? Anyway, another problem to solve on another day. But why was I talking about Wendy's? I don't know. I literally just go on tangents on this podcast now so much. I have, like, no idea what I'm talking about every time I do this. Wendy's. I literally don't know why I was talking about Wendy's. I don't even have a clue what I was talking about. Oh, yes. I went to Wendy's when I was in Camarillo, and that was amazing. And then I was driving home. So I was driving through a different part of Camarillo to get home. And oh my gosh, the Old Town section of Camarillo is so freaking cute. And that section is like hopping. It is not the dead area. That was pretty. The area that I walked around was pretty, but there was nothing there and there was nothing open. But this other area, there were a ton of good food places. It was just so cute and luxurious. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have taken my mom here. She would have loved this. Like, and she could have taken me out to eat here because I don't know when I'll be going out to eat at a place like that anytime soon. But yeah, so loved my experience in Camarillo. And then on my way home, I randomly pass a place that has a big sign that's like, pick your own raspberries. And it's like this little kind of farmer's market situation. It's like an actual market, like a store, like a grocery store, but it has a farmer's market vibe because it's really just produce and it's kind of on a farm. So it's kind of like more farmer's market-y than a farmer's market. It was kind of like just going to a farm, I guess, but it's kind of, it has a store. And then there's different berries and stuff you can pick in different seasons. And right now it's raspberries. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had just bought raspberries from Trader Joe's. Otherwise, I would have totally done that. But the guy said you just pay $5 and then you go in the field and you just pick your raspberries and then they weigh it, so you pay for it. But my roommate actually said that you can also like eat them as you're picking them. So you're kind of paying the $5 because they know you're also going to eat them. And I'm like, that is so cool. And actually before I planned my birthday is coming up and we're going to a ballet. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But before I planned that, my original plan many, many months ago, I was like, I kind of want to find a place we can like pick berries. I just miss that. I used to do that when I was little. So I grew up in Illinois and we would often go to Wisconsin because my grandpa lived in Wisconsin, sort of, but then he would also like go to Florida. He kind of lived in Florida and Wisconsin. So yeah, he worked on like a cherry orchard or something. I'm trying to remember. And so I have all these pictures of like me and my brother when we're little picking cherries on this cherry orchard. And there was like this store where everything was made out of cherries and there were dried cherries and all these things. So we'd always get this really big box of cherries every time we went. And then we would often put it in the freezer. My brother and I like to eat the cherries frozen for some reason. And I don't know if we always ate them like that, but I remember doing that. And I remember one time having a contest to see who could eat the most cherries, or all, like we would split it in half and be like, who could eat all their cherries first, which sometimes me and my brother would have real contests like that. And sometimes he would trick me and be like, let's see who can eat. Or one time, like we each got a donut and he was like, let's see who can eat our donut the fastest. And I think I ate my donut really fast. And then he like didn't eat his. He like pretended to. And then he was like, haha, I still have my donut. And like, you don't have yours anymore. I was like, and then I was mad about that actually. But anyway, so we love picking the cherries. I just have memories of picking fruit with my family and like just growing up in the Midwest. That was more of a thing I feel like that we did out there. I don't know if that's really true, if that's really more of a Midwest thing. But I mean, I grew up in the Chicago area. It's not like I grew up on a farm, but I just have all these memories of picking berries and stuff, and I just wanted to do that for my birthday. But then I came up with this other idea. Well, I feel like God gave me a different idea. So anyway, it was still really cool to pass this place and be like, oh my gosh, this place is so close to my house, and I could just come here whenever I want and just like pick berries. That is so cool. So that put me in an even better mood. I was already in such a good mood. And like, what a great mood I'm in when I'm doing errands, getting my windshield replaced that cost me so much money, but I'm still in a good mood and I'm coming home and I'm full of joy and I'm just going on and on to my roommate like, today was such a good day, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, why did I'm acting like I went to Disneyland or something. Like, I don't know what happened, but like God just gave me so much joy and it was really, really amazing. And then the next day, I was at home for part of the day getting work done, and then I had planned to go with my roommate to T-Mobile because she and her husband have a T-Mobile family plan, and she kept saying, if you ever want to join our family plan, you can, Tracy, because it's only like $20 for another line, and you could just pay like $20 a month. And currently I'm paying $83 a month with Verizon, and that was with me trying to get as many discounts as possible because it used to be almost $100. And I've had Verizon since I was like 16, so for a very long time. And I was hesitant to switch to T-Mobile because I have been with Verizon so long that they're like, if you want to get a new phone for free, you can get a whole new phone for completely free, but you have to basically sign an agreement that you're going to stay with Verizon for 3 more years. And I'm like, what's 3 more years? I've been with them like my whole life, and I could probably use a new phone soon. But I love the size of my phone because I have a 13 mini, and I just love that it's small. I also love that when I'm doing my podcasts, I kind of use this battery, like a portable battery, as a stand for my phone. I've looked up actual tripods and actual car stands and different things, and they're just not the right kind for the angle that I want my phone at. And so it really works well with the battery, but it only works because the battery is the same size as the phone, and it's kind of thick and a little bit heavy, and then it magnets to it and it's perfect, but they don't make batteries like that anymore, really, or they don't make batteries the size of the new phones. And so it wouldn't stand, because I mean, a battery is not supposed to be a stand. That's just what I use it for. And so if I get a new phone, I'm going to have to figure out like a new situation. And I really like the situation I have right now. So I'm hanging onto my phone as much as possible because I like that it's small. I like the way that I have the battery as the stand. And honestly, I don't know that I want a nicer camera, because I mostly shoot podcasts, and do I or any of my friends really want a camera that's going to show like every pore in our faces? Like, probably not. So I can live without a nicer camera. This is a nice enough camera for me. Like, it's fine. So I really want to keep this as long as possible, but also my storage gets full sometimes kind of quick. But I do know how to delete stuff and make room as much as possible. Like, I do that a lot, and it's working out. But because I'm like, what if I really do need a phone soon? I'm not going to have like $1,000 to buy a new phone, so I should probably stay with Verizon. But then meanwhile, I'm paying like $60 extra every month than what I would be paying if I joined my roommate's family plan. So I was back and forth about it, and I was praying about it. I'm like, you know what? God provides everything I need. He's going to provide when I need a new phone. I'm not going to trust in Verizon. I'm going to trust in God. And so I decided, like, okay, I am going to finally join your family plan. And thank you so much for letting me do that. So we went to T-Mobile, and I was having a great day with her. I'm like, okay, we're going to go to T-Mobile. We're going to do this switch. I'm going to save money. And then she needed to go to Goodwill for something. So I was like, okay, I'll come with you because I want to look for a birthday dress. I have to talk about my birthday in a minute, but I wanted to look for a birthday outfit, which is not something I always do. But this year I'm kind of like excited about my birthday more than normal. And I'm like, I kind of just want like a new outfit for my birthday. And why can't I find something cheap at Goodwill or whatever? So meanwhile, I really don't have like even money to spend at Goodwill, but I just felt like it was fine. God's going to provide. He set up this whole birthday for me, and I don't see why he wouldn't want me to get a little birthday dress. I just feel like most of the time I'm stingier with myself than God is with me. Like, I feel like he's like, yeah, get it. Well, I'm going to provide. You're fine. You know, that type of thing. So I was kind of living like that and having a great day with my roommate, doing errands, doing these things. And we're at T-Mobile, and as we're doing the switch, and so I'm switching from Verizon to T-Mobile, I had to get this certain code, and then they're doing the switch on my phone, and they're putting me on her family plan. And the guy was really nice and explaining different things to us. And then my roommate's asking about every type of promotion because she's always looking for like a deal and different things. And so he's explaining different things to us. And then he ends up telling me that I'm going to get $300. Like, he almost said it in a muffled way where I was like, wait, what did he just say? And I was like, oh, you mean I'll get $300 like towards a new phone, which I'm thinking that doesn't help me. I can't afford a new phone even with $300 towards it, you know? And again, I don't even really want a new phone right now. But he was like, no, you're just going to get like $300. Like, it's like a prepaid MasterCard type of thing. But he's like, yeah, you're just going to like get $300. So you could like put it in your account, or however, it's just money. We're just going to send you $300 in 8 weeks. So like, not right that day, but I was just like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm just going to get money for this? Like, this is crazy. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I just got my windshield replaced yesterday. That cost $535. And now God is giving me through T-Mobile $300. I had no idea that was going to happen. That is so crazy. So I was like, I'm rich. Like, this is amazing. Even though I wasn't really thinking about the fact that I didn't have the money yet. Like, it was coming in 8 weeks, but still I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I went to Goodwill with my roommate, and she had to get books for something. And I was just looking through the clothes, and I was kind of talking to God, like, God, help me find something for my birthday, which, like, it's still a little ways away. It's August 1st. So it wasn't like I had to find something that day. But then I was just drawn to this one dress. I'm like, oh my gosh, this dress is really cute. I feel like this is going to work great. And they don't have fitting rooms at Goodwill, which I don't love, but I'm getting used to that. It's like, you got to try it on at home, and then you have 7 days that you can return it. And you have to exchange it that day to the Goodwill you return it at. And I found out that you can't return it. You have to return it in the same county, I guess, that you bought it from. So you can return it to a different Goodwill. But since I got it from a Goodwill in Ventura County, I actually can't return it to a Goodwill in LA. And that's important to know since I'm often in LA. But anyway, so found this dress. I was looking for like a sweater or a jacket because I'm like, it's like a sleeveless dress, and it's probably going to get cold in the theater because we're going to see a ballet on my birthday. And I'm like, I got to find some kind of matching sweater, like a little brown sweater or something, because it was sort of this rose gold pink dress with these little dark brown dots on it. And I don't know how to explain it. You're just going to have to watch my Instagram stories because I always post stuff like that on there. I like to post when I'm shopping, especially because I can't always buy stuff when I'm shopping because I don't have the money. So then I just take pictures of it and I post it and I feel like I bought it when I do that, which gives me some sort of satisfaction. But this time I actually bought it, but I also posted about it. And then of course I'm going to probably post pictures from my birthday and then you'll see it then. But anyway, it's this pink dress. And then I ended up finding this like actual jacket. It wasn't a sweater, but it was so cute. And it was kind of a similar pink. Like it wasn't the exact pink, but it doesn't clash. Like it looked good with it. And then it had like this white kind of, I don't know. It's sort of like a poofy-ish jacket. I don't know how to describe it, but it was so cute with it, and I really liked it, and it fit me great. And the jacket was only $6. There was this little stain on the back of it, but I'm like, I feel like I can get that out. So the jacket was $6. The dress was $10. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I also found a couple of dance shirts to wear to dance class for like $5 each. I was like, that's perfect. Actually, this is one of them. Nothing exciting, but I just have the same shirts. I just wear the same shirts all the time, and I'm like, I would love to have like a few new shirts or something for dance class. So anyway, got those as well, and I was just like having a great day. I'm like, wow, another great day. This has been so fun. God is so good. And then I got home, and what was crazy was like an hour or two after I got home, I saw in my email that a friend of mine Venmoed me $250. And I was like, oh my gosh. God just gave me $300 through T-Mobile, and then my friend on the same day Venmoed me $250. That's $550. And I just changed my windshield for $535 the day before, and I was trusting that God was going to provide. And then the very next day, he provided $550. Like, technically, I'm not getting that $300 for 8 weeks, but like, I just felt like it was God speaking to me. Like, he waited till the exact day after I did the windshield, and I was trying to trust him with that. And I feel like God, it's like not even that much about the money. It's like, I'm going to be able to pay it by the time it's due on my credit card. But just like, it just like felt like God was speaking to me, like, I am your provider and you can trust me and do the things you need to do and do the things that are in your heart. And I really felt like God used that experience to tell me that I could take any dance class I want. I feel like he keeps telling me, take any dance class you want. Don't worry about it. I'm going to provide. And so the fact that he provided for my windshield, I don't know. For some reason, I felt that was confirmation that I could really take any dance class I want. He's going to provide just like he did for my windshield. Which still feels kind of crazy, but I was like, I don't know. I was having so much hope and I was feeling rich when that happened, and my friend sent me that. And I was also like, why did you send me this? I mean, people do like donate to me because of the journey I'm on, being an entrepreneur, or they like the podcast or whatever. So people do donate, and I often do like, I shouldn't say often do, but I remind people that they can donate if they want to help me keep going and that type of thing. And yeah. So, and my Venmo is Tracy in LA, TracyInLA, like my Instagram, in case you also want to donate. But anyway, I was like, what is this for? Because it just seemed random and out of the blue. And she's not someone that is on social media that much, so she doesn't really watch my stories. And like, I'm like, why did she send this to me? She's like, your newsletter. So I send a monthly newsletter. You can sign up for it it's in my Instagram bio, the link for it. But there's like 66 people on that. And I do try to write those. I type them. I send out the email newsletter monthly, usually at the end of the month. And I usually just talk about stuff God's doing in my life, kind of like this podcast, but maybe a little bit of different stuff, or maybe similar things, but in a different way, just like a recap of the month. And so but I also will often talk about my financial needs and where I'm at financially. And so I did talk about my windshield needing to be replaced in that newsletter. And so that is part of the reason that she gave me that money. But it's still, the timing of it was really crazy. She was like, sorry I didn't send it out sooner, but like I read your newsletter. And also, people don't send me money a lot from my newsletter. I felt like God told me to write those newsletters so that people could send me money. Like, I felt like I was supposed to raise money for the things I'm doing. But it's been very, very minimal that anyone has sent me money after reading my newsletter. So I'm just like, okay, God. But it has happened enough where I'm like, okay, I mean, it does happen. Like, I do end up getting what I need somehow through the newsletter or through another miracle or through someone having it on their heart to give me money. Like, I have gotten everything I needed, but it's not like I send my newsletter and then a bunch of people give me money. That has never happened ever. I usually don't even have one person give me money after sending my newsletter. Sometimes people will respond to them or they like them, but no one's compelled to like give me money usually. So anyway, that was very unexpected, and I'm very thankful for her generosity, and I'm very thankful for T-Mobile's generosity. But most of all, I know that it's God. It's just God working through all these avenues to provide for me, and I am just like, wow. The fact that it was the day after. I mean, she didn't know it was the day after I changed my windshield. Like, she didn't know it was the day that I got $300 from T-Mobile, and that it was going to equal the exact amount that I needed for the windshield. So I told her that story. She was like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Like, God is so cool. Like, the timing of that. So she was excited about that too. So it was like, I had that story. And then recently, and I posted about this on Instagram too, but recently I went to Target when I felt like I don't really have money, but I have some things like I need to get. Sorry, the light is going on my face now a little bit. I'm trying to stay out of it. But anyway, I went to Target and I'm like, there's some things I need to get, which again, I don't really have money for, but we're just trusting God. So I was buying a few things, and then I remembered I had this Target gift card. It's literally been in my wallet for maybe like a year, maybe even longer, because I thought there was like 30 cents on it. It's not that I totally forgot about it. I thought I had already used it and there was only like a few cents on it, but I kept it because I was like, well, I should use it for the few cents anyways. But I kept forgetting about it because it wasn't substantial. And so finally I was like, oh wait, I have that Target gift card. I should see. Maybe it's more than a few cents. Maybe I'm forgetting what's actually on it. And so I gave her that and I was like, I don't even know what's on here. And it covered the whole thing. Like, my cost of everything I bought was like $24 and something. And the gift card was for $25. And I had actually never used it. She had to like scratch it off with like a penny. And I was like, wait, this is a new Target gift card that's been in my wallet for this long? I really thought this was an old Target gift card. I don't know what's going on. I don't even remember where I got this from. So that was crazy. And that felt like God, because it was the exact amount of money. And I felt like God was like, yeah, go to Target, get what you need. Most of the time. I'm not saying that God's telling me to like, book a cruise or go to the Bahamas or something, but like, I feel like most of the time the things I need to do or the things in my heart to do, most of the time God is like, yeah, do that. I'm going to provide for that. I want you to do that. And so that was one of those times when I was like, yeah, I really think I need to buy these things. So like, God is going to provide and it's going to be fine. And then he provided right then through this gift card I didn't remember. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So that, and then the windshield, and then my birthday. So these are all the good stories of everything God's doing in my life money-wise. But then I'm still struggling, which I kind of already talked about. But maybe I'll talk about it again. But the other thing was my birthday. So my birthday's coming up August 1st. I told you guys like a while ago I thought about maybe doing some sort of berry picking thing. That kind of left my brain a while ago. I sort of forgot that was something that I was thinking about doing on my birthday. And I think I might have told this story on here before, but basically I was just on Instagram and I saw an ad from Pacific Festival Ballet, which is a place that puts on really cool ballets, because I saw my favorite ballet ever of Noah's Ark with Pacific Festival Ballet. And it was just like riveting. It was such a good performance. It was so well done. It was so creative. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. I've never been on the edge of my seat with a ballet. To be honest, I love doing ballet, but I often get bored watching ballet. And I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what that means. It's weird. I have a love-hate relationship with ballet. But I loved this company and what the ballet that they produced. And I wanted to see more shows from them, but they're expensive. And so any ads I usually see for them, I just kind of ignore for now, because I'm not going to random ballets right now, except sometimes when my friends are in them and get me free tickets, or God provides somehow for me to go. But anyway, I happened to see an ad that, one of those robot things just rode past my car, and it was going so fast and it looked crazy. Those guys are crazy. I don't know what they're delivering. I don't know what companies are sending them out, but it is just so interesting to be like living with robots around on the sidewalk. But anyway, what was I saying about my birthday? Oh yeah. So on Instagram, there was an ad from Pacific Festival Ballet for a show, a ballet on August 1st, which is my birthday. And that was the only date on the ad. It was August 1st, Charlotte's Web, the ballet. And I was like, oh my gosh, how fun would it be to go see Charlotte's Web, the ballet, on my birthday? Like, maybe nobody else thinks that's exciting, but I was like, that sounds so cool. And it reminded me of the Noah's Ark ballet they did, because there were all these little kids dressed as animals, like the 2x2 animals, and they were such good ballet dancers, and the costumes were so cool, and I like just absolutely loved it. It was such a good show. So I was like, I could see more kids dressed up like animals doing ballet. That is so cool. So I really wanted to go to that. And then I was looking up more about it, because I was like, why is it only one day? And usually their shows are, for multiple weekends or whatever. but it turns out it's like the student summer training session, like if they're training for a month or two, it's their ballet that's at the end of that. So it's not as professional as one of their regular ballets, but it's probably still really good. Like their training school is supposed to be really good. Actually, I have still yet to take one of their adult classes. So the training school that I want to go to, or the adult ballet classes near me that I want to go to, are through the Pacific Festival Ballet. It's their dance school that's mostly for kids, but they have some adult classes and I've heard they're good. So I really want to go there. But anyways, I was like, well, I don't care. Would love to see the kids, end of their training. I want to call it like a recital. I don't know. It's a ballet, but I was like, that sounds cool. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's cheaper because it's like the kids' production. It's not their actual normal ballets. And yeah, I think it is. I mean, I don't remember how much their regular ballets are, but they're like, the kids one is $37. All the seats are the same price, $37 or $38. And I was like, okay, I could see a ballet for $38. I'm sure by the time it's my birthday, because I saw this a few months ago, and I'm like, I'm sure by the time it's my birthday, God will provide for me to see this ballet for $38. Because also I felt like God brought that to my attention, because when I was reading the caption of it, I felt like God said to look up this kids training school, because I had looked it up. I looked up all the ballet places I could find near where I'm living now to see if I could take ballet somewhere. Or there aren't a lot of ballet places, but I looked up dance studios and I was trying to find a ballet place. And I did see the place that's linked with Pacific Festival Ballet, but it looked like it was a kids studio. But when I was reading the caption, I just felt like God said, why don't you look there at that training school and see if there's classes? But I was like saying to God, yeah, they do kids training there. And there was nothing about adult training in the caption, but I just felt like God said, why don't you look again? And so I looked again, and I really had to navigate that website. And I ended up finding adult classes. And then I talked to one of my professional ballet dancer friends, and he said he takes class there sometimes, and that it's really good, and it's comparable to West Side School of Ballet, which is what I like in Santa Monica, but it's really far away from me right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to try that. So many cool things happened from me seeing that ad. And I just feel like God really made sure that I saw that. Like the fact that the reason I saw it is because I saw my birthday on it. And I don't think, and that's the reason it was only one day, is because it's the kids' like summer show. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then I was coming up with this whole plan, like, oh, maybe we could go to eat before the show and I could invite people. And so I found a place that I like that's like a place where you pay at the counter, because I'm like, if people are going to have to pay for the tickets ahead of time, I also don't want to create this like really stressful restaurant situation where everyone's trying to split the bill and all these things when we already have to have a complicated thing for getting these ballet tickets. So I was like, it would be cool if it was just like a place people pay at the counter so they can come if they want or not come if they don't want, and it's not a big deal. And they could come for the food first, or they could come to the ballet, or they could go to both like I'm going to do, or whatever. So I had this whole plan like months ago. Like I really want to do this. I want to invite like a bunch of people. And I was thinking, I don't know who will come. Maybe nobody else is excited about something like this except me. And it's kind of far away from where a lot of people live in LA. But I was like, I don't know. I just want to do it. I just want to invite people and see who will come. So I had this like thing in my heart for a while. But then as the day is approaching, as it's coming closer to my birthday, I started getting kind of like down about it. I was just like, nobody's gonna want to go to that. And I don't even know who's my friend right now. I feel like I was feeling all like depressed and just like, who's even going to want to come to my birthday? And who is even going to think that's cool, seeing like a Charlotte's Web ballet that's like a kid's production? Like nobody wants to drive out here. Nobody's going to pay for that. Nobody wants to come to my birthday. Like I was just feeling really depressed and like, I don't know. I was like, am I even going to go to it anymore? But then I was like, yeah, I do really want to go. I'll just go by myself, or maybe I can find one person that I know will want to go. Or I'll ask like one person. I can just find like one person. Like I don't need to have a bunch of people on my birthday. And sometimes I do that to myself because I don't want to face rejection. I'm like, I don't want to have a big thing because like what if everybody says no or nobody comes, and then I feel like really sad. Because I actually do, in the past, I have enjoyed having a lot of people over on my birthday, and like I really like to use my birthday as an excuse to like introduce all my different friends. Like, you're my friend from church, and you're my friend from dance, and now all you guys, and you're my old roommate, and now you guys all know each other. And I really like doing that. I like to connect people. That's something God's, I think, a gift he's given me since I was young, is like connecting my friends. Like, I'm friends with this person and I'm friends with this person, and then I'll connect them to be friends with each other. It's a gift and a curse because I enjoy doing that, but then sometimes those friends become friends and then they run off and like they're not friends with me anymore, which has been happening to me since grade school, and my whole life that's happened to me. So it's to the point where I'm usually pretty used to it and I'm not as hurt by it anymore. I'm just like, okay, whatever, that's my calling. God's just going to give me new friends. I never want to just like get new friends. If there's anyone out there that thinks that I'm like, oh, Tracy's always making new friends, I literally think God forces that upon me because I would like to just keep the same friends. I don't usually think, oh, I wish I had new friends, or I'm tired of these friends. Most people that I'm friends with, I want to be friends with them for my whole life. I don't want to stop being friends. I don't want to have new friends. In my head, that's how I feel. But then often God will just like change situations in my life or push me to a different place or do things differently. And I'm kind of almost sort of forced to make new friends. And then I always, enjoy the new people too. But I also try to keep the old people in my life if possible. But sometimes it just doesn't work out when you're, on very different paths and you're not intersecting lives as much anymore and that kind of thing. And I always like feel a little sad about it because I do get really connected to people, but God's also made me a person to help connect people. So oftentimes by the time he brings me to like a new friend group or new friends, he's already connected the people that I was friends with in my last friend group. And so it's just interesting, but yeah, I'm just kind of in sort of a transition season, I feel like right now. And so I was kind of just like, I do have a lot of friends. It's not like I feel like I don't have friends. I'm just kind of like, I don't really know who my close friends are right now as far as like people that I live nearby and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know who's even going to come. So I was just feeling weird about it and not sure if I wanted to do it anymore. And I don't know. I had been praying about it for a while, but I felt like God was encouraging my heart and just like, Tracy, why don't you just do it? And why don't you just invite anyone and everyone? Just like anybody. I mean, I didn't invite like everyone. I just invited like every person that was on my heart to invite for some reason, whether it's someone I am really close friends with or someone that I've met at dance or through rehearsal or something, and I maybe don't even know them that well, but I always thought they were cool and like I would love to get to know them. Like I've invited people like that. I invited people that like maybe I used to be closer with before, but maybe I'm not as close with right now, but like I miss them and would love to hang out with them again. Or just I invited every single person with a reason. Like I had a reason for inviting every single person that I invited, but I did invite like a good amount of people because I just was like still feeling like I don't really know who is going to want to do this. But I literally was like, even if just one person wants to do this, then I'm like, okay, I have a person that I'm going to spend my birthday with. It's going to be whoever wants to do this, I guess. And that was just the attitude I went into it with. And I've never used the Partiful app. I'm like, Partyful? Do you say Partyful or Partiful? I don't even know. Anyway, I've seen people use this app and I'm like, I need to try this app and like see how this works. And oh my gosh, it's so easy to do. I had so much fun. I'm like, oh, I should start having more parties. This is really fun because you can just like make this little event and it's not like you have to know everybody's numbers or anything because you can just copy paste a link to it and send it however you want. So you can send it in an Instagram message or in an email or to someone's phone or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is so convenient for all the different types of friends I'm inviting to this. So yeah, I sent it out to a bunch of people and oh my gosh, the amount of people that very quickly said yes, like not even maybe, like said yes to it. I was like, oh, they want to come? Oh, they're going to come? Just because I was like, wow, I haven't seen that girl in so long. I can't believe she said yes like so fast. Like, I mean, I was excited. Like I invited every person for a reason. So if every single person wanted to come, I would be happy. But I was just kind of surprised, which I kind of thought that was going to happen though. I mean, I was surprised, but I also just like really gave it to God. I was like, God, I'm just going to trust you with this. Like I'm trying to trust you with everything right now. I'm not going to try to control, since I especially don't even really know who my close friends are right now. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to invite every person that's on my heart to invite, and I'm just going to let God be in charge of whoever comes. Like he's going to orchestrate it. So I prayed about it. I was like, God, please have everyone come that you want to come to my birthday, like for whatever reason. So I was just like, very excited to see every person that like wanted to come. I was like, oh my gosh, oh, this person, oh, God's going to have this person come. This is cool. And so actually, I mean, it ended up turning into 15 of us going, which I'm like, what the heck? Like that, no way did I think 15 of us or 14 other people besides me would want to go see Charlotte's Web, the ballet in Thousand Oaks. I don't live in Thousand Oaks, but that's out towards where I live. Like for $40. And I put the idea of like going to the food place first. So I don't know. I think some of them are going to go to that as well. And I'm just like, man, is everybody rich? Because like I'm not rich. I don't even know how I'm paying for this. I mean, $40 for a ballet is not really expensive. But it's also a kids ballet, and like also a lot of my friends are artists and don't have money to spend on shows and things like that because they're like me. So I was just shocked all the people that were responding yes, like so quickly, like not even taking time to think about it. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like, man, there's a lot of things God tells me to do in my life, like this podcast and the books I write and dancing, where I do not see results from it for a really long time. I'm like, is God really telling me to do this because there's not that many people listening and not that many people buying my book, and does God really want me to do this? But it was cool with my birthday where I was like, I really felt like God told me to do that. And then he had all those people respond and say yes. So it was like one of those times where you actually see the result quickly. I'm like, oh, wow, I really think God did tell me to do this because look at all these people that wanted to come. They're like excited about it. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is a lot more people than I was expecting. I should probably get the money from them first because like I could put it on a credit card and then have them pay me back, which was my original plan because I didn't think it was going to be that many people. But then I was like, this is kind of a lot of people, and I just want to make sure they're really coming. I don't want to get stuck with an extra ticket and someone's like, I can't come, and then I don't have the money for that. So mostly getting them to pay first was more about getting an actual confirmation from them so that I really knew how many tickets to get. But literally I think initially it was like 12 people that like when I asked for money ahead, they all just gave me money so fast. Like everybody, almost every single person like gave me money within hours of when I said, I need to get the money first so I can buy the tickets. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So everyone's really excited about this. So I was going to buy the tickets, and then Ticketmaster won't even let you buy more than 8 tickets. Like won't let one person buy more than 8 tickets at one time or like at all. Like I can't even use a different credit card because it can't be the same name buying more than 8 tickets. So I can't buy all of these. So like, thank God that my roommate's coming because hopefully she'll be cool with buying some of these tickets. And like, obviously I'm going to pay her back with all the money my friends just gave me. But I'm like, I have to put it on 2 cards. So that was like this whole thing, man. I made an Excel spreadsheet, which I don't mind doing. I'm not like super good with Excel, but I do like to do it. Like I do it for my podcast, my Dance Journey podcast with all my guests and stuff. Like I do have an Excel spreadsheet for that. And I was like, I guess I'm going to make an Excel spreadsheet for my birthday. I never thought it was going to like turn into this, but this is becoming sort of a job for me right now, which is kind of exciting. So yeah, and then I'm using my roommate's info, and it was this whole thing trying to figure out how to like send each person their ticket because I really wanted each person to have their own ticket, especially if they were going to be like late possibly or something. Like, I don't know. So, and then even after I got all the tickets, I had a couple people reach out and be like, say they wanted to come. And I was like, oh, I already bought the tickets, but here, let me tell you what seat to get and you can get it yourself. And so those people bought the tickets themselves, but they're still in our section. And I was just like, wow, this is like a whole orchestration of things. Like, this is crazy. And so I just started getting really excited about my birthday and like all the different people coming. And like, yeah, some of them are church friends. Some of them are dance friends. Some of them are dance friends like I know really well. Some of them are dance friends I just like was in a piece with in Alien Bound, but don't know them that well, but always thought they were nice or whatever. And some of them were old roommates. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was just cool. And I was even kind of like placing people where to sit because I wanted to send each person their own ticket, which, to be honest, I think it's kind of hard for them to accept the ticket because they have to go into their own Ticketmaster app and all this stuff. So that might not even work out. But initially, I felt like, I'm going to send them each a certain ticket. So I should probably like make a little seating chart of like what I think makes the most sense. I literally felt like I was planning my wedding. Like I'm figuring out, okay, these people know each other. This person doesn't know anyone, but I feel like if they sit next to this person, that will be good. Like these people will probably want to talk and all this stuff. So like I took a little while and like made this whole seating chart. And now I feel like it's not going to matter because I'm probably just going to have to stand in the lobby and like check everyone in with my phone. But anyway, that was kind of fun. I've just been like so excited about my birthday, which like last year I moved on my birthday. I moved the day before my birthday or something. And so I just like woke up in my new place on my birthday, which was fine. It was just like a weird feeling. And then I had 2 of my usual dance classes that day. So I just made a thing on Instagram that was like, if you want to celebrate my birthday, come to either of these dance classes. Cause I had just moved. I was not in the mood to like plan something, and I didn't know like what I would do, and I don't really have money. So I was just like, I'm just going to go to what I usually do since it's happening on my birthday, and just invite people to come if they want to come. And it ended up being a great birthday. People did come to those classes, and especially my nighttime class, which was my free Christian class that was on my birthday last year. I mean, they really celebrated me in that class and like had me do a solo and were super cheering me on. And the person who hosts those like went on and on with this big encouraging like soliloquy for me for my birthday. So, and some people brought me presents, which like I don't need presents, but like it was a nice birthday last year, but it wasn't anything that I like really planned. So I'm just really excited because this feels like old school Tracy. I'm like, I used to do stuff like this. Like I would be house sitting on my birthday and I would invite all my different friends from all my friend groups and like introduce them to each other. And I just really like doing that kind of thing. And so this is kind of like getting me excited about my birthday again. So I was very excited to find a birthday dress. And also I'm like, I don't even really know how I'm paying for my own ballet ticket. But once again, I'm just like, well, God put this in my heart, so I'm believing he's going to provide for it. And then one girl couldn't come, but she was like, oh my gosh, that's like my dream party, but I'm literally going to be out of town. I'm so bummed. She was like, but can I send you like $10 that you could like get something at the ballet or something? I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome actually, because the tickets are kind of expensive for me. And it's hilarious that I'm putting this together because I can't even really afford it. And so she sent me $10. And then this other girl that is coming just sent me $20 extra, which at first I thought was just like a mistake. And I was going to tell her she accidentally sent too much. But then she was like, oh, it's a little extra to help you for your ticket. So I basically got $30 towards my ticket, and it's $38. And 2 other people gave $2 extra. Maybe they thought there was tax or something, but I literally said just $38. And yeah, so now my personal ticket only costs like $6. I don't know if I'm doing the math of that right, but it's basically very cheap. I mean, I still am going to planning to pay for dinner, but it's not like a super expensive place. And I'm just trusting God. It's fine. You know, I'm so excited. I'm like, wow, God put this idea in my heart, and he even kind of got my ticket paid for, and this is crazy. So I don't know. I was just feeling overjoyed, especially yesterday when I was talking with my old roommate. We were just, you know, sharing so many stories about everything God is doing. And it was just such an uplifting conversation. And I was just like, yeah, God is so good. I'm just like, I feel rich. I just like don't feel poor. Like, yes, if you look at my bank account, I look poor, but I don't feel poor because God keeps providing for everything I need. So cut to, I started getting a headache yesterday. And then when I got home from class, it was really late. I had to do a few things. I was tired. My head hurt. I was kind of hungry. I needed to take a shower still, all this stuff. And I had to look at my bank account. I don't remember why. There was something I needed to pay for or something, or I needed to pay my credit card or something. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am in the negative right now. I was like, why am I in the negative? I felt like I was so rich because like T-Mobile gave me that money. Then like, oh, I guess I'm not actually getting that money from T-Mobile for 8 weeks. So it's not going to be in there for 8 weeks. And then my friend did send me $250, but like, I'm still in the negative. I'm dog sitting next week. So I'm not going to be in the negative, but even after I'm done dog sitting, I'm only going to be in the positive like $175, even after the money my friend gave me. So I was feeling sad and frustrated again and just like, okay, yeah, I have $300 from T-Mobile coming in 8 weeks, but I don't have any income right now. Like I don't even have my babysitting job anymore because I feel like God told me to quit that for valid reasons. And I do believe he told me to quit that. But like now I have nothing. The only thing I have coming in is $300 from T-Mobile. And I think that's going to cover my windshield. Like I'm going to have to pay for, that's going to not even be enough for my gas bill for 1 month. And it's coming in 2 months. So I am poor and like I don't have money for stuff. And I was feeling really sad and frustrated. And I think that was increasing my headache. And I woke up feeling like that too. But then, and I'm like, wow, how crazy is this roller coaster of emotions? Because I was feeling so grateful to everything God was doing. And like, I was just like praising God for 2 days. And I was having like the best days of my life, walking in nature and hanging out with my roommate and all these things. And then all of a sudden I was just overcome with stress and anxiety. And I'm just like, ugh. And I was telling my old roommate that being free from anxiety is a journey. Like I do feel like God is freeing me from anxiety, but it's not overnight. And there's still times when I start to get anxious and I have to take it to God. So this morning I made sure to get up in enough time to journal with God. I'm like, I need to spend time with God. I need to tell him how I'm feeling because I need to get this emotion out of me because I'm having a hard time. So I started talking to him about it, and I felt like he was reminding me, like, first of all, Tracy, literally you're going to be $175 in the positive after you dog sit next week. That's without the $300 from T-Mobile, and it is with the windshield replacement. So like literally, I feel like God said, literally, I provided for your windshield even without the $300 from T-Mobile. It's already provided for. I already covered it. By the end of next week, you're going to be back in the positive $175. But I'm just thinking like, yeah, but with the amount of dance classes I have to pay for, by that point, by the end of dog sitting, I'm going to probably be back to zero again. And so then I was like, I should probably not be taking dance classes because, I mean, some of my dance classes are free, but there's certain ones I'm going to in the next week and a half that I do need to pay for. And I feel like I'm supposed to go to these dance classes. But I'm like, how can I go to these dance classes when like that's all the money I have? Like it shouldn't be for dance class. And I felt like God said, why are you trying to budget your $175? Like you don't have a budget. You don't have money. You don't have income. And God just has me in a weird season right now. It's a manna season. So he's telling me just do what you're feeling led to do and watch me provide for it is what he keeps telling me. And I, again, do think everyone should do what God's telling them to do with money and stuff for sure. But I don't think that it's the normal thing to spend money you don't have. I just think God has me in a weird season where he's like testing my faith to see if I'll really trust him for what he's called me to do and what he wants me to do. And every time I pray about it, I feel like he says, just go to any dance class you want, because I'll be like, but what if maybe you don't want me to go to this dance class anymore, so you're not going to provide for it? And I feel like God's like, no, that's not how I'm working right now in your life. You have the freedom to decide what classes you want to go to. Keep discerning, keep deciding, like maybe this isn't a class for you to keep going to. You can keep deciding that, but you can decide your classes. Like you're very good at deciding what classes and like knowing which classes are helping you grow and where you should be at. So I feel like God's like, yep, you can manage that, but I will be your provider for it. And I'm just like, okay, because like he showed me with the windshield that he provided right after, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's gonna do that for my dance classes. I don't know. And he's like, yeah, maybe you're gonna be close to zero at the end of dog sitting, but that just means you have another miracle coming. That just means something else is gonna come in. And really, worst case scenario, literally my bills right now, my actual bills, like obviously I have gas money and like groceries and things like that, but my actual bills is my car bill. I only have liability, my car insurance, and that's like $100. And now my phone bill is $20. Those are my only actual regular monthly bills right now is $120, which is so crazy, especially living in LA. Like that's nuts. Yeah, all these other expenses and things do come up, but that's my only actual bill. So I feel like God is showing me like, even if he didn't provide, it wouldn't be long before I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Like, if I'm spending money on dance classes and all these things I feel led to do and I don't see miracles of him providing or people donating or anything, then I'm going to be like, okay, God, do you want me to start applying for jobs? Like, what do you want me to do? I would just ask him what to do. And I believe he would show me. If he really needs me to get another type of job, he's going to show me where to apply, or he's going to bring it to me, which he's often done in the past. Like, I don't doubt that. But I had to really spend time with him this morning to remind myself of that, because I think when I'm not spending time with God or spending time in the Bible, like my brain can just start to spiral with all this anxiety and like, how is this going to work? And I can't do anything I want to do. And now I feel sad. Now I feel extra sad because like I feel called to do something, but I don't have the money to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. So God just gave me peace this morning and helped lift my spirits. I still have this dang headache, which has been hard, but he is helping me to trust him. And it is kind of an experiment. I'm like, I think I'm hearing God's voice. I think this is what he's telling me to do. And I felt like that with the windshield, but I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And then he provided like so quickly. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. That was really cool. So now I'm experimenting with my dance classes. Like, can I really do this? Or like, I don't know. But I am very willing to do any type of job God wants me to do. I have done it before. There really isn't any work that's like beneath me or anything. I just feel like he keeps telling me not to take other jobs because he wants me to focus on everything he's called me to do, and it takes up all my time. So I just keep trying to do what he's telling me to do. And so far, up to this point, like 2 to 3 years in, he has always provided it through either random jobs he's given me or through people's donations, people feeling called to give me something, or through other random miracles like the money from T-Mobile or a tax return or a random class action settlement, just different things. Sometimes, like I was looking at my Excel spreadsheet for my budget, and I was looking at past months and how much I was paying for my car with the car registration renewal and changing the drive belt and the oil change and a smog check and then this windshield. Like when I was looking back at these past months, not even my windshield actually, just like all this other stuff I had to do with my car and how much money I spent the last 2 months, I was like, I don't even know how I paid for that. Like I could probably go back and listen to all my podcasts to remember how God provided, but I literally right now, like I don't really know how I paid for it. I'm like, this did not put me into debt. Like I did all those things and God provided for it. And I'm not even really in debt right now. Like technically right this second I'm in debt. But like I said, by the end of dog sitting next week, I'll be $175 in the positive. Maybe not still after I take these dance classes, but it won't be below zero unless some sort of catastrophe happens. And I'm just like, wow, God has really provided for every single thing that's come up. And I really think it's because I'm doing my best to follow like where he's leading and what he wants me to do. And if he changes that path, if he's like, okay, now it's the end of the manna season and I want you to have a regular stable job and I'm going to bring a different type of job into your life and your projects are going to be either around it or you're going to stop them or who knows. Or what I think he's told me is I'm going to keep going with what I'm doing kind of forever for like a long time. And he's going to transform that into making money more regularly through these things. I do think that's what he's told me. But again, it's all kind of an experiment. I'm like, maybe I heard him wrong. Maybe that's not what he said. But I'm just trying really hard to have faith and believe like I really think he told me this. So I'm going to keep going and just keep trying to have faith for this. And I think God often just blesses whatever we have faith for. So sometimes I feel like he tells me, Tracy, even if I didn't like for sure tell you to do this, just the fact that you're having faith to do it, like that's what I'm blessing. Like I'm blessing the faith. And also because I'm trying to do it for God. Like I'm not a perfect person. My selfishness gets in the way sometimes. I'm not saying that like I always have a heart where God is always first and everything's about him. But ultimately like that is the goal. Like I'm trying to live my calling that God wants me to live. I'm trying to tell people about Jesus, tell the good news of God, because I feel like it's a message of hope and salvation and joy for people. And a lot of people are looking for that. They're looking for some sort of purpose or joy or meaning in life. And I believe that that is only found in God, the God of the Bible, Jesus, who is God. And it's not that I'm trying to force my beliefs on anyone or that I wouldn't be respectful of somebody else's beliefs or anything like that. But because I really believe that's really the truth and I really just care about people and like I want people to have hope and joy and meaning, I really want to share with people. And I feel like the way God's given me to share is just by sharing my own life and not necessarily telling people what to do, because it's not my job to tell people what to do. People can make their own decisions and do whatever they want to do, and it's fine. And I'll be friends with all kinds of people. It doesn't matter if you believe what I believe or whatever. But I do have like my Christian friends that I'm sometimes closer with because we do have like a very common like bond of serving God with our lives. And, you know, we're living the same purpose. And then especially if they're dancers too, and they're trying to do it for God, I feel like a really strong connection with them. But I also feel a connection with all kinds of people who maybe don't have that as their purpose or whatever. But I just feel called to share about what people could have, because anybody can choose to follow God and serve God with their lives. And I guess I just want to like bring truth to people that might have a different idea of what it means to be a Christian or what it means to read the Bible or try to follow it. I think it's often there's like a misperception about it. And so I think that's why I feel passionate to kind of share my own life and my relationship with God, which is not perfect. And I am not perfect, but I love the grace that I receive from God and the blessings from him. And it's really about him. He's perfect. Like, I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. So it's really sad when people are turned off by God or Jesus because people are like misrepresenting him, or they're not sharing the love that God would share. And even I have also like not always represented him perfectly. But he often gives me wisdom and things to share and stories. And so I just want to share about that and what it's like to live life with the Lord. And if anybody has more interest in that or wants to learn more about it, like, I would love to talk with people about that. Like, I used to work at a church. Like, I love God. I've had people tell me, why don't you just get a job at a church? Like, during this season of my life, this entrepreneurial season, I've had people say, like, why don't you just work at a church? And I literally feel like, I feel like I just want to be like, no, that is not what God has called me to do right now. Like, I think they're just trying to be nice. And they're like, well, don't you like really, you're like really into God. Why don't you just like work at a church? But there's everybody who loves God works at a church. Like, I don't know. Like, God doesn't need everybody that loves God to work at a church. Like, he needs people that love God to like be in every kind of place, because God wants to reach everybody. He loves everybody and he wants to save everybody. And so you can't just be like stuck inside of a church. Like, I used to be really involved in church and volunteered in a million ways and all these things. And then I started feeling more called to like be more with people that weren't at church, because if I'm just stuck in a building at church all the time, I'm just around other church people and then I'm not sharing God with anybody else. And so I felt really called to be friends with all kinds of people, and it's not about like, oh, so I can like convert them. It's just like, I want to share God's love with people, and they're on their own journey. And oftentimes it might just be like a seed planted, like a thought for them of that could be an option if they wanted to, you know, get to know God better. But I may never see them actually like decide to do that. Like, that might not be my role in their life. You know, God might just be using me to like plant an idea or a seed in their life. And so it's not I'm not like driven to like see all these results. At least God is freeing me from being driven for seeing all these results with everything in my life, just even in other ways too. He's just like tells me to do things, wants me to obey him, and then he's in charge of the results. Like, it's not on me. Like, I don't have a burden on me of like, this exact thing needs to happen with every single thing I'm doing or whatever. And the people that I'm drawn to, that I hang out with, it's like genuine. Like, God brings people into my life who I enjoy, who I like hanging out with. I'm not just like, who can I tell about God? Like, I just talk about God all the time because I love him. That's just like natural. And then I'm naturally drawn to a lot of different kinds of people. And I think God just like has made me like that. And so he's made me someone that like connects with people easily and like all kinds of people, even though sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm so different from this person. Like, I have no idea like why we connect so well, but somehow we do. But God's just kind of like made me like that. And I think he's also made other people like that. And so we find connection, and, you know, I don't know. And then God just wants me. I don't even feel like he's telling me to like preach to people. I just feel like he's telling me to be myself and not be afraid to be myself. And I would say that to everyone. Like, everyone should be themselves more. I think we often just hide, you know, because we're afraid that like someone won't accept us if we're like really ourselves. And there was a time when I wasn't as bold about God because, yeah, I want to keep my friends and I don't want people not to like me and all these things. But I'm like, yeah, they can choose to not like me if they want, but I just love God and that's who I am. So I can't like not talk about it, you know, and I try to talk about things that are what people want to talk about, but then that's why I think God's given me this podcast and books and things, because then it's like an outlet for me to like talk about what I really, really want to talk about. And it's an option if people want to listen to it or not. Like, if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. Nobody's forcing you. So yeah, it's just like a cool outlet, and I'm just trying to give it to God and give the results to him. And it is sometimes hard to keep going when I'm like, is anybody liking this? Is anybody listening to this? And it's interesting, since I switched to also putting it on Apple Podcasts and YouTube, this personal podcast, I switched to putting it like on all the platforms. My analytics are now saying that I have over 100 unique listeners in a 30-day period, which is cool because when it was just on Spotify, I think I had gotten up to like 27 unique listeners in a 30-day period. So I'm like, oh, I was trying to get up to 100 because on Spotify you can do subscriptions once you're at 100. And that was a way I was thinking about making money before. Although now I'm kind of like, I don't even think this is like the way God wants me to make money anyways. He just doesn't seem to want me to make money. He just seems to want to just give me money in weird ways, like at least for now or for a while, I guess. But yeah, I guess most people listen to podcasts on Apple, which is also me too. Like I also listen to most of my podcasts on Apple Podcasts. Even though I like Spotify, I think the sound quality is really good on their podcast. And they also do video with audio, which I think Apple is starting, or I keep seeing advertisements for it, but I don't know. Mine is still just listening on Apple. But anyways, yeah, it's just like a more common podcast platform. So I think it's helped this get out a little bit more, which is cool. So thank you, those of you that are listening. What else was I going to say? Because I'm going way over. I can't believe it's already an hour and a half. And I feel like my headache's getting a little better maybe. I'm still working on my choreography that I talked about before. So for some reason, I literally can't choreograph to anything except this one song, which I don't want to reveal the song yet. At some point, I will reveal it. But I'm starting to think it's probably going to be a class. I see it as like a stage piece for sure, but I'm very new to creating choreography for the stage with like a large group of people. So I think it will just at least start as a class, and maybe down the road, I'll like do something bigger with it. But yeah, it's kind of an intense song. And like, I played it for someone recently and they were like, "You're going to choreograph to that?" And I was like, literally, it's the only thing I can choreograph to. I have tried to choreograph to other songs, but I swear God will only let me choreograph to this song, because when this song comes on, choreography just comes out of my body. It's just like so natural. Like it does take time. Like I've been working on it, but it's like I have moves for it. They just come out of nowhere. And that's what usually happens when I choreograph to a song that God puts on my heart to choreograph to, which is not always a Christian song. Sometimes it's just like a random song, but I still feel like it's from God. I still feel like he miraculously gave me choreography for that song, but I can't choreograph to anything else. And so that is now happening for this song. It is a Christian song. It's kind of intense. Like it's really cool. I think it sounds really cool. It's almost like spooky in a way, but I really like it. At first when I listened to it, I also thought it was kind of intense and crazy. But then when I started listening to it more and was trying to do choreography, I was like, whoa, actually, I really like doing choreography to this. And so my moves have gotten a little crazy because the song is kind of crazy. And I have a butterfly jump in it, which I'm not even very good at. I have this other move that I might have done in a class a long time ago that I can't really do very good, where you kind of put your hands on the floor and like kick your legs up in like almost like a split. Like I can't even do the splits, but like where you kick your legs out in sort of a split position with your hands on the ground. Like I have that move in it now. I'm like, what are these moves I'm putting in here? I don't know what it is, but it's like I feel like it has to be these moves for this part of the song, and I can't even do them very well. But you know, I do feel called to dance and to perform, but sometimes I feel even more called to choreograph and like direct others dancing. And so I'm like, I don't know, maybe God is just giving me advanced moves for other people that can do them really well, and I can do them mediocrely, you know? So, but I can explain them, and I like to teach. So I don't know. It's not about me. It's just about like whatever God wants to do. And I was also thinking like, I wonder who's going to want to like learn this dance. It's kind of like how I feel about my birthday. I'm like, who's going to come to my birthday? I'm like, who's going to come to this class? Cause I'm going to tell people the song, because I don't want anyone to come and then be like, I don't want to dance to this, or like they're offended by the song or something. So I definitely want to tell people before the class what the song is, but I'm kind of like, I wonder who's going to come. But I hope a good amount of people come. But even if only one person comes, I would teach them. If nobody comes, then I'm just going to have a studio rented and just like dance my heart out and use that space, I guess. But anyway, that's my plan for that. And I had a couple other things I was maybe going to say, but I was thinking about how I always say I love you to the dogs, our three big dogs, my roommate's three big dogs, and really any animal that I like or am around, but especially our three big dogs. I'm always just like, I love you, Pharaoh. I love you, Deku. Appa, I love you. Just all the time, petting them and telling them I love them. I just say it all the time. And it's not even a phrase I say a lot. Like I'm not someone that says that a lot to like my friends or even my family. Like I don't use that phrase a lot, like I love you or that sentence. But with animals, I'm just saying it all the time, and they're doing nothing. Like, they're doing nothing for me. If anything, they're a hassle, kind of, and they're kind of annoying, and they bark a lot. And like, but like, I just pet them, and they're so cute, and I'm just like, I love you, and I just say it so much. And I felt like God was showing me like, that's how he is with us. Like, we don't even do anything special, but he's still like, I love you. Like, he thinks we're so cute. The way that we think, you know, dogs are cute and they don't do anything for us except take our money and our time, and they can be annoying, but we still just think they're so cute and we just love them. I feel like God also is like, yeah, sometimes we're probably annoying and we don't do that much for God, but he just loves us. He made us and he just loves us, and he just wants to tell us how much he loves us all the time. So I just wanted to give that little encouragement. If anyone's not feeling loved, I think God really loves you, even if you didn't do anything, even if you're like a weird looking kind of dog. Okay, nobody's dogs, but like, you know, there's like weird looking dogs that I even am like, oh, I love you. Not my dog. The dogs in our house are not weird looking. I don't know. Maybe they are. Everyone's weird in their own way, and every animal is weird in its own way, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful to me. It's beautiful to God. And there was one other thing I was going to say. Am I going to say this? I don't know. I need to end this soon, but I'm like, am I going to be late? I needed to look at the time more than I was doing yesterday. I wanted to talk about how we don't have to force the fruits of the Spirit. Okay, if you don't know what the fruits of the Spirit are, they're not actual fruit, but the fruit, okay, I know a song for it. This is how I know it. Although I am trying to memorize the verse that actually says what it is, but I don't have it memorized yet. So this is the song. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit. I don't even know the tune really. It's like, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, meekness, gentleness, and self-control. Or maybe it's faithfulness and self-control. Anyway, it's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, meekness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. I said too many in that. Some versions say different words for different ones, so I'm not sure. But basically, those are the things we're supposed to be having. If we're like in relationship with God, we're staying close to God, we're supposed to like exude the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, meekness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, which we don't always do because we're sinners. But as we get close to God, like, we're supposed to start to like show those fruits of the Spirit. And so, but sometimes I find myself like trying to force the fruits of the Spirit. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't feel like being kind, but like, I need to be kind. I'm supposed to be kind. I have to do this. Like, this is the Christian thing to do. Like, I have to do this. I have to be like God. God wants me to do this. I have to, you know, do what God wants. So I have to do this. And something I felt like God was saying to me recently is, Tracy, you don't have to force the fruits of the Spirit. Like, I don't even want you to do that. Like, I want you to be a sincere person and a genuine person more than like a fake. Like, I don't want you to be like a fake nice person. Like, well, I just need to be nice, so I'm going to do this, you know? And I felt like God said, just stay close to me. Just like spend time with me, like journal with me a lot, read the Bible a lot, talk to me through the day, be honest with me, like take your real feelings to me, like come to me, pray, and I am going to transform your heart so that you are those things. But you don't have to force it or like will it to happen or try really hard or strive really hard or feel overwhelmed to try to be this person you're supposed to be, but you don't really feel like you are that person. Just stay close to God, and he is going to develop that in me, and he's going to change my heart, and he's going to take on that burden, and he's going to like give me a genuine, like caring nature for others that helps me to be kind and loving and faithful and gentle and all those things. And so anyway, I just wanted to encourage you with that because that encouraged me. I was like, okay, good. Because it's kind of exhausting to try to force those things. And like, so I just don't think we're supposed to overly focus on, again, the result or like the thing that's supposed to come from being close with God. We're just supposed to just focus on God. And what does it mean to focus on God? Just like talking to him. I don't know, being, you know, even if you don't even fully believe in God or you don't even know if he's really there, I mean, just try it. Like half the things I'm doing right now are an experiment. So I encourage you to experiment too. You know, just be like, hey, God, this is what I'm thinking about right now. Hey, God, I'm upset about this. Hey, God, I don't really understand why you're having me go through this thing, or why I went through this thing when I was little, or why I'm stuck with this thing that's really difficult for all my life, or whatever. Just like ask God about it, cry to God about it. If you're thankful that something happened, thank God for it. Maybe you're not even sure like if it's God or why it happened, but I really believe like all good gifts come from God, like in our lives. So try thanking God for it, and try asking God like what he wants you to do about different things and how he wants you to spend your day and that kind of thing. And God knows where each of us is at, so he might not say the exact same thing to like different people. He might be like, okay, this person, I'd love to give them this idea because that would be really cool for where they're at right now. But God always has us doing things that are like for him and for his purposes. So they always involve like loving people, serving others, like things that are for good, that are good for others, good for God, good for us even. And he knows how to coordinate it all to make it all work and be for his purposes that are, we would call them like kingdom purposes. So there's like earthly things you can focus on, which is like getting more material wealth, getting fame, getting known, having a million friends, having that one relationship you want. Like that's kind of more earthly things. And it's not to say that it's wrong to like want to make money or want to be in a good relationship. Like those aren't wrong things, but they're just kind of like earthly things. If you're overly focused on earthly things, it's like not what God really wants. Like he wants us overly focused on kingdom things. Like, so in God's kingdom, which Jesus is going to return at some point and God is going to be like really ruling. Like he already rules, but like Satan is still around and he's messing things up and there's sin and there's brokenness. And that's why we're all experiencing pain still and tears and all those things. But when Jesus returns, he's going to basically obliterate all of that. And it's going to be really his kingdom, living in his kingdom. And so when you read the Bible, you learn about what his kingdom looks like how he wants things to work. And it's the best way. And it's like very encouraging and full of love and all of this. And so he wants us to start living like that now, even though his kingdom isn't like fully here yet, but we're supposed to be walking that out so that people can experience that. And we're bringing more of his kingdom ways onto the earth. So like, instead of being overly focused on gaining wealth, gaining fame, gaining friends, gaining that relationship, we're supposed to be overly focused on serving others. How can I help someone else? How can I encourage someone else? How can I listen to someone? How can I be there for somebody else? How can I use my talents and my gifts to help people, to bring joy to people, to help bring peace? How can I give someone advice or wisdom that will help them in their lives? Oftentimes, like God's made me to be a storyteller and to share from my life, but oftentimes he tells me, Tracy, don't just try to tell everybody every update in your life. Like, okay, for the podcast, it's a little bit like that, though I do try to tell what God's putting in my heart to tell. But when I'm like really having an in-person conversation with someone, I feel like he's like, listen to their story, listen to what they need in their life right now. And if you have a story from your life that's applicable, that could encourage them, tell them that story. It's talking to your friends is not necessarily always an excuse to talk about every single update in your whole life, every story that's going on. I mean, maybe there's certain friends where you both do that and that's your relationship. Like, okay, that's fine. But in general, like God didn't make me a storyteller just so that everybody knows what's going on in my life. He made me a storyteller to share about my life, to encourage other people in their lives. And the best way to do that is listening to other people so I know what they're going through. And then oftentimes, because God made me like this, he'll just put a story from my life in my head really quickly to encourage someone else. Like, oh, let me tell you about this time when God did this, or let me tell you about this time when I was struggling with this, but then this happened. Like, so I'm able to encourage. Like, I know God's also made me to really encourage others, which, I mean, we should all be encouraging others, but everybody has just different, like, very specific things God's given them to be part of his kingdom, to help people, basically, and to show love. So the main commands in the Bible are to love God and to love others. So that's what everything we're doing should be about. And actually, life is way less stressful when you make it about loving God and loving others. The reason why we're all so stressed all the time and anxious, and myself included, especially recently, is because we're just obsessed with ourselves. We're just like, I have to be this or this. Even if you're like insecure, which I am sometimes too, like even if you're like, I'm not good enough, I wish I had this, but I don't. And so you feel like you're humble because you're just like, but I don't even feel good enough. I don't even really like myself. That's still an obsession with yourself too. It could go either way. You could think you're the most amazing person in the world and that is a self-obsession, or it could be that you think you're terrible, but you're still obsessing over yourself. And so often, even about my money, God has told me, like, stop worrying about your money because you know I'm going to provide for you. So now think about other people. Like, you don't have to think about yourself so much. I already got you, girl. Like, I got you. I'm going to provide for you. You don't have to overly spend like 80% of your brain on your money situation. Like, take the concern to me, leave it with me. I've got it. I'm going to provide. Now go help other people. Be there for other people. Listen to their stories. Like, help them, encourage them. Like, you don't need to be so consumed by yourself. Like, I got you. I'm going to tell you. If I need you to do another job, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put it in your heart. Otherwise, keep doing what I told you and I'm going to keep providing. And then talk about it because I told you to do a podcast where you talk about how I'm providing. And so that's what you're going to do. So you don't have to overly think about it anymore. Just keep doing it. Just keep showing up. Stop worrying who's listening, how many listeners, has it grown, da-da-da-da. Like, if I want it to grow, it's going to grow and you're going to see it. If I want it to grow, you're going to know. Like, don't worry about it. Just obey me. So if you're like just living for God and you're just doing what he put in your heart and it's helping people, or it's like something that is for a purpose, then that's it. That's it. You're living your life. You're living the dream. And it could be anything. It could be something really small that nobody would notice or see. But if you're doing that for the Lord and you're doing it from your heart and you're doing it to help someone or whatever, like, then that's a great life. You know, we don't need all these things the world says we need. Like, we get so consumed with it and so upset over it and comparison and jealousy. And that is the work of Satan. He's still here prowling around and trying to get people to believe his lies. And that is his work. And we don't want to give into that because it's like a prison. It's a prison life. Even people that are making so much money because they've chased after that and got it. If they don't know God, I believe they're in a prison too, because that can be like a golden handcuff type of situation, like a job that you're stuck in because it pays so much, but so you feel like you can't leave, but you don't want to be there and you shouldn't be there anymore. But it's kind of like golden handcuffs, you know, it's that type of thing. And that could be for anything, not just like a job that pays good money. It could be anything, a relationship or just something that you feel like you can't leave even though you're probably supposed to, like that kind of stuff. So just talking to God about stuff is so helpful. Reading the Bible is so helpful. Talking to other people that believe in God is really helpful. Just to have those encouraging conversations and wisdom and just really live the reason we're here. Like, it's hard to keep living if you're not feeling like you have a purpose. And so I guess part of the reason I share these things is because I want people to find their purposes. Like, God has told me a lot of what my purpose is for this season of life, possibly forever. And I want to help other people find what their purpose is, which may be similar or maybe different, or maybe some things are similar, some things are different. Everybody's different, but God has made us each so unique and so beautiful. And if we're all doing what we're really called to do, it actually can work in such harmony together and uplift one another, and we can appreciate each other and be blessed by everybody's gifts instead of comparing and jealous. And oh my gosh, it's been an hour and 45 minutes, and I really have now said every single thing on my list. So I think we are going to be done. Actually, there's one little thing I didn't say, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we are done now. I'm feeling a little better because my car has gotten cooler. I'm not feeling so overheated right now. And I am going to find food, and then I have another class to go to. But thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.